Thank you for being here, John.
Thank you. Okay. So my name is John Mery. I teach at Portland Community College. My field is music. Faculty Department Chair of Music, Theater, and Dance. I attended the Guitar Building Summit this year in Redmond, Oregon. So we haven't implemented the actual guitar building, but we are working on it. We have some challenges. Although I did implement much of the curriculum in a new online course that I developed. This course is titled Guitarology. This is a lower division 4-credit general education history, music history course, basically. And I've embedded a lot of these topics in the course. I got a little carried away, I think, actually. Anyhow, these include the way that pickups work, the math behind equal temperament versus the pure ratios of pure tunings, design, schematics, patents. We study the history of the evolution of the electric guitar and the technology involved. Talk about amplification and guitar effects and how they work. I created a module specifically on sustainability in materials. So tone woods, they have to, well, you'll get to see it, but so I won't say too much about that. Physics of sound and music are included, and also handmade versus machine manufactured instruments. It's a 10-week course. It's divided into 10 modules, and not all of it are STEM topics, of course. There's a lot of ancient history, more recent history. As you can see there, the module is basic background, ancient history, then it's classical guitar, then talk about steel string guitar, then electric guitar in 2 parts, amplification, how the guitar is exhibited in Latin America, other global traditions, American cousins such as the banjo and the mandolin, although the mandolin's Italian, and then just summarizing everything. So the specific modules I've implemented directly from the program are the guitar estimate and the correct location calculation. And then I developed new ones on volume and amplification, sustainability in materials, and then I'm developing one on where the students have to pick tunes and try to identify if the guitar sound is produced by single coil or humbucking pickups, that kind of thing, and any other effects that are used. So I think the easiest way for me to show you this is to simply show you the actual course. Let's see, lecture 1. So I say that this is, we use D2L at PCC. I don't know if you're familiar with that program for all our online courses. I just converted it here into a PDF just to, since I thought we might have some technological, technological challenges. So the first thing I introduce after just giving basic anatomy is we talk about the physics of sound, which was discussed a little bit here. Give them a basic background on basically sound waves and how they relate to the guitar and the vibrations of the string. So you can see here there's lots of pictures and such. So this is all ancient history. Of course, guitars go back to the dawn of civilization, or guitar-like instruments, which are technically called chordophones. In the second module already, I start to discuss the rule of 18. Anyone know what the rule of 18 is? Yeah, that's how they used to calculate fret placement, right? Until we discovered that actually the 12th root 2 is more precise for equally tempering the fretboard. So this is all early history stuff. This is some early lute or vihuela tablature, published in 1530 in Spain. So some of the first books on how to play the chordophone, or guitar-like instruments, were published in tablature. So tabs, most students are familiar with what that is, although it's upside down from our modern system, and it includes rhythm. So let me see, I have these marked, but I can't really get to them. Basic techniques, such things like that. For number 3, we start to get a little more detailed here with the how this. So inside of the instrument, second here. In this particular module is where I talk about tone woods, and they read about sustainability of these materials, what they're used for. As you know, Sitka spruce, or may or may not know, and Brazilian rosewood are protected or endangered species, so they're becoming more and more rare and expensive and difficult to attain. I won't go to the specific article there on tone woods from Guitar Player magazine. It's actually really great. The module is in a different file. So let's see if I can pull that up real quick. I'm going to get to the desktop here, there, and then you can see the assignment. It's pretty straightforward based on the price list that was done for the electric instrument, although in this case they have to identify common materials for each of the main parts of an acoustic instrument, what they cost, where they get them, and then if it's a sustainable material or if it's considered endangered or protected by things like the Lacey Act, etc. People have had instruments confiscated at the airport coming back into the country. So that is something to be concerned about. When we get to electric guitar, of course there's a lot more technical components here. A lot of historical aspects. I try to combine these things. Talk about the first patent for the electromagnetic pickup was by something that was submitted by George Beecham on behalf of the Rickenbacker Company. This covers how the electromagnetic pickups work, electromagnetic induction. There's a lot of YouTube videos, other clips like that. The difference between single coil pickups and humbucking pickups, as well as more contemporary technologies like active pickups and even MIDI pickups. So there's that. Mr. Les Paul with his first log guitar. So let's see, go back down here to files. Module 5 and Module 6 here. This is the one with amplification, how a speaker works, how an electric coil works. History of this, of course. In this specific module, I've created an MLA based on comparing output level, decibels, and wattage, how it translates into volume. Excuse me, I'm used to these computers. Week 6, there it is. So basically, it just asks them to compare how much louder a 22 watt amp is than a 15 watt amp in decibels, so they get to apply some of these basic math concepts. Even if they don't realize what they're doing, since they're using a calculator, they're understanding the process. There's a simple formula for that. For the fretboard location, I simplified that particular module a little bit. I'll show you. If I put 5 here, assignment. So I basically give them more specifics. I use the Gibson scale length, since that's my preferred instrument. They have to calculate this. They can also use, of course, they're given the math, but they can also use one of those handy fret spacing calculators that Stumac and many of the other manufacturers have. And then finally, let's see here. Show you how this is embedded in the specific lectures here. I have them all open, 5. So this class just recently got the general education status, which should make it a pretty popular class. It's the first term we've been able to offer it. I apologize here. So this is the component where we talk basically about the technology. They get a little background on the musical scale. We had talked about the rule of 18, and Vincenzo Galilei was the first musician and builder to have used that, as far as we're aware. Talk about harmonics. I have a video here where I demonstrate how the pure harmonics are in a different spot on the string than the tempered fretboard. Here we present why it's actually why the constant derived from the 12th root of 2 is used rather than the rule of 18, which gives us a more accurate tempering. And you see the math there. Again, many of these students might not understand the mathematics behind this until they actually apply it. A couple of us that are not from technological backgrounds were amazed that in the summit we actually were using math for something really useful and tangible, like fret spacing, rather than just doing formulas. So I put it in here. I think those are all the components that I have in this course. Let me just make sure. Luckily, you can see what I'm doing there. So, 6 assignment, the one on amps, I think I showed you that one. Drop on cost estimate, yeah. So that's basically my course. Any questions?
How can we have you publish this? How can we have you publish this?
I'd be happy to share it
Okay.
any way I can. Of course, it's open to everyone.
Is it a MOOC? I mean, one of those multiple massive things?
No. It's just an individual course. Question?
Yeah, you said it was you got it approved as a gen ed elective, right?
Yeah.
Do you have in where you work in?
Yes.
Do you have to do the 4-year schools dictate what you
Yeah.
can do? So how did you get around that?
We just articulated with the university. So I have a pretty good relationship with the transfer institution, so I just really handled it via email rather than going through there's a formal process that the state handles, but it's very cumbersome.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was just contacting my colleagues and say, hey, look at this course. Does it look like something you'd accept? And then I get the email reply, and then when I go in front of our curriculum committee, I just show them that evidence, and that's good enough. Yeah, and there's talk at the college now of eliminating our general education lists, which in the humanities we have a lot of resistance to that. Everything's about completion. I'm still, I guess, old school liberal arts education, and I see the value in that. So
Yeah.
many of us are trying to educate the rest of the college about that. Yeah. Anything else? Yes.
What's an MLA?
A modular learning activity. They're the ones that are, if you go to the guitarbuilding.org website we have, there's the whole collection of those. Yeah.
I'm just asking, sounds for your online, you must teach it blended, right?
No, this particular version of it is completely online.
Okay, and then they come to your shop work with you?
No, this is all online. So we haven't done the hands-on portion.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, we have facilities challenges, so that's something I'm working on. 3 of us now have completed the Guitar Building Summit from Portland Community College, so I think we will get it off the ground. It's just, I know that, Glenn, you attended it this year. Yeah, so we only attended this year, so I'm learning how we can implement that. We don't even have a shop, so.
How do you judge your student engagement in this course?
How do I judge student engagement? There's a lot of activities that they have to complete. So every week they have to participate in discussions, and they have to reply to discussions. It's all point-based. There's a quiz that they complete after reading the lecture and the other reading materials, which are usually links. This course has no specific text. And then there's a weekly assignment. So basically that's how I do it. It's just through completion. Online courses, I've only been teaching them for a few years now, and it's definitely a different beast. I was against them for a long time, but I didn't want to be left in the dust. So, you know, it works for some things, for others it doesn't. I teach music theory as my primary area. I haven't reached the point where I think that can be done effectively online, although I know a lot of schools do it. Yes.
Okay, we're at our time, and we are going to have a 15-minute Q&A session after we have a third presentation by Tom Morrissey, who's going to be next.
Great.
But John is excellent. Thank you. Yes.